guys, welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Bruce and today I want to show you how non-standard gameplay can be super beneficial. If you're interested in more reviews and gameplay, go to YouTube and search for World of Tanks with Bruce to get all of my videos, or click on the subscribe button. And now let's go. In World of Tanks, most players don't know what to do when the game starts. Hence, they always do the same thing. If they play heavy tanks, they move to the heavy flank. If they play tank destroyers, they go to a sniping position, and so on and so forth. Today, I want to show you how you can deviate from this standard gameplay and, with conducting some unconventional gameplay, get decent results in World of Tanks. Alright, first game, we are spawning in the T95 and let's take a look at the map and see what options we have and what we would usually do in a tank destroyer. Spawning on Mannerheim line in the southwest, this is how the game usually looks like. You have the medium flank right here in the north, where the medium tanks are fighting for this position right here, or respectively talking about the red team for this position. Then you have the heavy flank in the south, where the heavy tanks are brawling. And then as a tank destroyer, you usually go either to this hill right here in order to conduct some sniping, or you proceed to the bushes right here in order to help your heavy tanks in the south. So you see me not moving towards the typical heavy flank, and there's a couple of reasons for it. I mean, this video is all about unconventional gameplay, right? So why do I not proceed to the heavy flank and brawl with my heavy tank? Because after all, this is what you should always do in a T95. Well, obviously, this map has quite a disadvantage if you spawn on the southern spawn. Now, what do I mean? Take a look at where the other T95 is going. So he does not have, the T95 does not have the speed whatsoever to proceed all the way to where the AMX M454 is playing and to move into this little ditch where you can play hull down. Second reason is, even if I had the speed, I don't have a rotatable turret, and so I cannot use this position to my advantage. So all I could do is basically stay in the back and try to snipe, and this is not what I want to do in this tank. Second reason is there are two artilleries in the game, and whereas the opposing artilleries can perfectly take the T95 under fire from at the position where he's playing, our artilleries have quite a problem taking the opposing heavy tanks under fire. As you can see, the T95 is focused by the enemy artillery, and so I decided to not go there in order to not lose my HP as quickly as I can, because that does not make sense. And so I thought, okay, what's the option? What else can I do in this tank? And now I want to proceed to the B4 position, to where the Charfuture 4 is going, because I think this is the critical position in order to win the medium flank. And so I think it makes perfectly sense to support my team on the medium flank in this scenario. Now, in 9 times out of 10, I would proceed to the heavy flank and brawl with my heavy tank, because I want to offer my firepower and also my armor to our heavy tanks in order to win this flank. However, in this situation, in my opinion, it did not make sense, and so I wanted to proceed here and help my team to win exactly this position right here, where the E50 and the Leopard 1 and the Charfuture are now playing, because now we have a distinct advantage. The only thing we have to now do is cautiously advance and not throw away our HP. So unlike the Leopard 1 is doing. Okay, so we get shots in our back, which is not good, and so I need to turn around and I need to take out those tanks, because they have already advanced to this position. This is now very unfortunate, because I want to help my team to further advance and offer my armor, but I need to turn around and make sure that those tanks do not flank us. Now, if you're wondering, this was one of the first games which I played in the T95. And so I still have the stock gun, which does not have the sweet 750 alpha damage. However, the DPM is better, and also the gun handling itself is better if you use the stock gun. So all I want to say is using the stock gun is actually not a problem at all on the T95. Okay, so unfortunately we have already lost the Leopard 1 because he did not do what I had recommended. Okay, unfortunately I bounced on the nicely shaped upper hull of the WoT 65. He simply advanced, and obviously if you are playing a tank with paper thin armor, then this is not what you should do. So okay, let's turn around and let's help our E50 and the Shah Future 4 to advance on this flank. And I think I should be the tank proceeding in front because I have the armor profile. And the problem is there's a T95, yeah, which is playing at this position. He also did not proceed to the heavy flank, which is now unfortunate for us. Here you go. See, can I get a shot? No. Okay, so yeah, looks like our heavy tanks have problems. You see, go have problems. Okay, that was a low roll, 325. Okay, have problems winning the heavy flank, but now we need to hurry up and make sure that a Leopard 1, why are you advancing against a T95? What is wrong with you? Okay, if you have those players, well, that is not very unfortunate. Meanwhile, we want to make it clever and proceed so that we can get a shot on the cupola of the T95. Can we get a shot on the artillery? Maybe. I don't know if this was a hit or not. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, so let's take a shot. Here you go. No. Okay. At least we bounce the shots from the German Tier 9 tank destroyer. Let me see. Okay, we need to wiggle it around. This is always a good tip. If you have a tank like the T95, which has in general perfect armor, but which has some weak spots, you should wiggle around in order to decrease the chance for your opponents to hit your weak spots. So let's now advance 8 to 5, which is fine, and now we need to advance. Obviously, the enemy forces are using APCR, premium ammunition, which is basically standard if you're playing in a T95, because otherwise they don't have a chance to penetrate the frontal armor of the T95. So that is something you can basically count on if you're playing this tank. Once again, the Leopard 1 with its paper thin armor is proceeding up front, which is, yeah, of course a bad idea, but that's just how it is. Okay, we already blocked 3,300 damage, and this is not the perfect damage dealing game, but I want to showcase you why unconventional gameplay can be super important, or how it can be super important. Now, in a situation like this, the T95 has one drawback, and that is its sluggishness. So if you are alone on one flank, you have to fall back and proceed closer to your teammates, because otherwise you will get flanked. And as soon as one tank is able to circle you, then he can track you, and then you will not have any chance whatsoever to survive, because he can simply farm you and keep you tracked. So as soon as your teammates are dead, you have to fall back and proceed to your teammates. Now, I want to proceed right here because, after all, I think the Object 777 too, if he moves out a little bit further, and maybe also the Jagdpanzer E100, they can get crossfire to my position. And so if I get flanked, I think I am perfectly fine in this situation. After all, I also might have artillery support, so I think it's not too bad. Looks like our team is finally winning the heavy flank, and so let's see what I can do. I'm pinging for help to basically tell my artillery, please help me focus the map. Okay, I'm spotted, so I'm pretty confident that the remaining maybe heavy tank has gone to the A0 position, which is a very strong defensive position because you have a double bush situation. And so before I want to proceed to this position, you know, moving over the open field, I want to wait until my team has further advanced so that they can basically take the remaining tank under fire as soon as I am able to spot this remaining tank. And keep in mind, my view range on this tank is very lackluster, and so I think I only have one chance. And as soon as I finally spot the other tank, I have to make sure that I get support from my team. So now I want to further advance. Looks like the object 7772 is now flanking, which is nice, and so we are opening up a crossfire situation, which is always beneficial and something you should always do. Okay, here's the go. Okay, officer, come on. Yeah, looks like he also has the small gun. See, okay, artillery is focusing me. Now the problem I now have is I am one shot, which is bad per se, and I want to angle my tank so that if I get a shot from the A0 position, I will not be taken out of the game, and then so that I can bounce this shot. However, we also have to, here you go, bam, nice, we can take him out. And as soon as possible, turning around the tank once again to the A0 position, waggling around. And now, I mean, the game is won, so we simply have to advance. And let's see if we can get one more shot. So far, about 2000 damage. Once again, not the best result in the T95, but I think this game has been a good example of situations in which it makes sense to conduct unconventional gameplay. Once again, to recap, our teammate, the T95, has been taken out of the game very early in the game, simply because he did what he always does, which is to basically proceed with the heavy tanks. And in my opinion, sometimes it makes perfectly sense to conduct unconventional gameplay. Alright, second game. This time we're spawning in the UDAS 16, the tier 9 Swedish medium tank. And once again, let's first of all take a look at the map and see what the typical options are on this map. Spawning on Pearl River in the southeast, the game usually develops like this, and with the medium tank, what you usually want to do is either proceed to the middle to help your light tanks win this portion of the map, or proceed to the medium flank, which is down here in the south, in order to win this flank and then basically advance towards the enemy base. Alright, once again, you of course don't see me go to those options. Now, I believe this tank is too slow to proceed to the middle, because as soon as I arrive at the middle, the enemy light tanks will already have proceeded to the to the F6 position, so in the middle where the LT432 is going. Now, on the other hand, I simply also do not want to proceed to the southern flank, because I think this flank is more or less useless. But I have a perfectly fine hull down tank. Plus I am top tier, so my decision making here is to support my heavy tanks to win the heavy flank on this map. After all, I believe the heavy flank on this map is super important, because you can proceed from the heavy tank, from the heavy flank to the middle, and basically try to push the middle. Now, as you can see, there's a lot going on here, so okay, I'm a little bit surprised. And I think I have to fall back. I might take a shot. Okay, I get tracked. Okay, this kind of surprises me, because I thought I can basically help my heavy tanks to outnumber the enemy forces on the heavy flank, but looks like this has not worked out. Hopefully the Conqueror, will proceed to our position soon. And so the good thing here is we can open up a crossfire situation. And so let's see, let's make my siege mode work. Nice. So one shot on the T10. He is focused towards the Löwe, so we can maybe take another shot. Let's see. Here you go. Nice, and we can take him out. Perfect. So far so good. And now the enemy forces are basically in a crossfire situation, which is perfectly fine for us. Okay, the Emil 2 is focusing me. Now we get support from the Conqueror, which is good. Yeah, okay, but now he's blocking my way. Okay, so let's see what we can do. I think we have to wait until the Emil 2 has emptied his clip. So now the T10 advancing. Let's see. Good. Maybe the T10 advances even further. Nice. Okay, he gets one shot on return, which is bad. And let me see. Okay. Okay, yeah. So the game seems to be won, I think. Because of my support, not only because of me, but I think my support on the heavy flank with opening up a crossfire situation actually helped to win this game. And so this is why I wanted to showcase this play. Let's track him, nice. Because it is a perfect example for a situation in which you once again should conduct unconventional gameplay and proceed to a flank where maybe you can surprise the enemies and to certainly not simply proceed to the, let's say, to the standard flank. Here you go, we can take out the T10, but where it makes sense to conduct non-standard gameplay. Okay, so what I think I can simply, I think he has shot all his 3 shots, and I want to proceed to the object for 30. You know what, let's just go. Let's go. Ah, he doesn't. Okay, now I'm in deep trouble. Yes, okay. Alright, he can take me out of the game, which is perfectly fine. And the game is actually pretty close. Now, looks like we can win the game. We made 2,400 damage, bounced 880, not the perfect result for a hull down tank, but you know what? I think a perfectly fine example, perfectly good example to once again showcase that sometimes it makes sense to deviate from the standard gameplay, and this is what I want to basically bring across. Don't just go to a medium flank because you are sitting in a medium tank. Try to analyze the strength of your tank first of all. I mean, it doesn't make sense to brawl with heavy tanks if you have, let's say, a Leopard PTA. However, there's still the option to conduct second line gameplay with a Leopard, and if you do not know what I mean, then take a look at my video which I made about the convoy, in which I explain second line gameplay. But after all, try to take a look at the map and at the situation, at the team composition, to see if there's the need to deviate from the standard gameplay, and then sometimes, once again, it makes sense to conduct some unconventional gameplay. Alright, third and last game, this time in the T-78, the American tank destroyer on tier 6. But first of all, let's take a look at the map and see what the typical tank destroyer options are. Spawning on Studzianski in the west, this is how the game usually develops, and with the tank destroyer, most of the players usually go to some sniping positions, so either here or maybe here to support the heavy tanks, or maybe in the north, right here at the back of the map, or in on this little hill, in order to support the medium flank in the north. Okay, so yep, once again, I'm not proceeding to the, let's say, the classic tank destroyer position. And this has a reason. In the last gameplay, I told you that you have to analyze the strength of your tank. Well, if you take a look at the T-78, this is a above average mobile tank destroyer which is fully rotatable, with a fully rotatable turret. So in my opinion, it makes sense to play this tank as a medium tank. And so if I proceed alongside with my medium tanks to the, let's say, medium flank, which is the case right here in the south, then I can help my team to basically outgun the enemy team. And so, in my opinion, it makes perfectly sense to proceed to the south and not to go to the typical tank destroyer position. I already showcased this video, this replay here, in a video in which I made a map tutorial in Western spawn in a medium tank. So if you have already watched this video, then yeah, feel free to basically skip and proceed to another video. But I think it's a perfect example to once again show you that you should analyze the situation, which includes the strength of your tank, and then proceed accordingly, and not simply go in this, like in this case, to a tank destroyer sniping position just because you're playing a tank destroyer. So what I have done here is I try to support my medium tanks to win this riverbed here, because I think it is the strategic position on this map. So you should, in my opinion, always try to win this portion, the southern portion of the map on Sudzianski, and that's what I did in this map. Now, I would never recommend to blindly proceed down into the riverbed, because chances are that the enemy team is basically outnumbering you, also proceeding down to the riverbed. Sorry for my pronunciation. And then you are outnumbered and you will be taken out of the game rapidly. So the first thing you should do is try to see what's going on, try to analyze how and you know, with what strength the enemy team is playing the south, and then you should make a decision whether you also proceed down into the riverbed, best case with your teammates, and yeah, so basically to win the southern portion of the map. Okay, can we get a shot? This is why this, you know why winning the riverbed is so important, because you can get crossfire not only to the middle but also to the TD position of the enemy team. But now looks like my team is pushing forward aggressively, and all those tanks have been spotted. So there's a Hellcat, and then there's the only tank which is not spotted is the Zu-100. So chances are that this tank is in the K0 position. The Hellcat is taken out of the game. Nice. And so, okay, this the gun blocks my sight towards the A0 position. So yeah, I think the VK3601H just received a shot from the K0 position. So let's simply wait. In this situation, patience is key to success. Okay, our light tank is advancing, and so okay, now we can also advance, because if the tank in the K0 position takes a shot, then he should get spotted. Ah, here you go. So the Achilles has been in this position, and he's already falling back. Maybe the Su-100, sorry, the Su-100 was actually spotted on the other flank. Nice. And so we're perfectly fine with advancing. Okay, let's take a shot on the Churchill. Maybe we can take him out. Okay. And the drawback of the T-78 is obviously its inaccuracy. What if we take premium ammunition? It should work fine, and we are fully aimed in. If you are fully aimed in, you might make a pixel shot, but I see lots of people, you know, like only aiming in a little bit, and obviously if you are not fully aimed in, you will never ever make such a pixel shot. This only works if you are fully aimed in, so you always should take your time, and that is a drawback of this tank, because yeah, sometimes you simply do not have the time to fully aim in, like in this situation. And as you can see, I did not fully aim in, and so I donked this shot. But now I want to learn out of it and fully aim in, and so the second shot is a hit. So a little lesson learned here, right, in this gameplay. Let's see. Okay, he's taken out. Nice. And we simply want to advance. After all, the game is won. There are only 2 tanks in the game plus 2 artilleries, and so once again fully aim in. Here you go, and bam, 252. The alpha damage on this tank is sweet. Nice. And bam, taking in this tank out. Okay, nice. And can we get another shot? Maybe. There's still the VK3601H, yeah, with quite a chunk of HP, which is nice. And so maybe we can get another shot. 1700 damage in this game, and once again, I think this game is a perfect example that sometimes after analyzing the situation, after analyzing the map, and the enemy team composition, you should conduct unconventional gameplay, and this will, after all, increase your win rate and was also your overall stats. So yeah, nice, perfect. Nice, we can get the kill shot. So yeah, overall, decent result, 4 kills, 2000 damage. Once again, nice result in the T78. And yeah, so once again, I think I made the point, conduct unconventional gameplay when it makes sense. This is the message of this video. Alright guys, that was it for today with some unconventional gameplay and how you can and should make use of the strength of your tank on the respective map. What do you think about this topic? Just leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Consider subscribing to my channel, and I see you next time in another World of Tanks video.